But my message to the defendants who've been rounded up today is this. Your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition, and you can bet on that.
You better not.
Can't hold me, baby. You can't hold me. I mean, to be honest, I'm just, I don't know nothing to tell. I wish I did. I wish I did, boy, because I would have been out like, soon as they put me in the car, if I would have known something, I would have told right there. Shit. I don't know who y'all playing with. I like my bed. Dummy said, yeah, nigga, yet. Yes. He said I was a rat. Not yet. just give me time. just give me time. All right? Let me wait to see what the charges are, the real ones. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. They don't even gotta say 20 years. Nigga, they can say 20 hours. 20 hours. That nigga, him right there, that's the nigga I see, him. Yep.
Yo, what it is, people, we is back. Another day on Keep It G News. And we got to tackle this situation that's going on with the NBA and the FBI. Yes, I said it correctly. The NBA and the FBI, because I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know if it's telling going on. I don't know if it's just extensive investigative work going on, but people is getting arrested. Former and current NBA players and coaches is getting indicted, and it's getting real. And that's why I played that clip for y'all at the beginning about Gilbert Arenas. Look, I don't know if Gilbert Arenas told or not. I know that's not something you're supposed to say coming out of federal custody. I don't even think you play like that. And when you look at these two indictments, they are eerily similar. See, most people, if you haven't read the paperwork, you probably just think that this is a gambling on games. No, this is about poker too. Just like Gilbert Arenas' case was about poker as well. Well, his whole case is about poker and illegal gambling. It seems like to me the feds cracked down on illegal gambling more than likely because of pressure from, casinos, Las Vegas, y'all know, sports bookies. Nobody likes to lose money. Nobody likes to lose money. And the great thing about it is the people that's heavy bettors in this game, you know what the rim is about sports. Some of these games could be fixed or not. You understand what I'm saying? But if they fix them, they can't allow you to fix them either. I don't know. This ain't a situation where we sharing the profits. You feel me? This is a for-profit business. Ain't nobody in the business of losing money, not the casinos or these gamblers, or the mob, depending on who you believe that's involved. But I don't want to wrap y'all up too long. Let's get into the indictment and find out what has actually been alleged by Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Daniel Jones, and others.
I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and keep our entertainment industry fair and secure.
These defendants, which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Cosa Nostra. While the cases are separate, there are 3 overlapping defendants charged in both cases: Damon Jones, Eric Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law. First, I would like to talk about United States versus Ernest, the NBA basketball gambling case. The defendants in this case are Eric Ernest, Marvez Farley, Shane Hennon, De Niro Laster, Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player. Other co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former NBA player Jontay Porter. Between December 2022 and March 2024, these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams. The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They relied on corrupt individuals, including Jones and Rozier. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts. Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. The defendants then laundered their illegal winnings in various ways: peer-to-peer platforms, bank wires, and simple cash exchanges. The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Toronto Rangers. Each defendant in the NBA basketball gambling case has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Now, I would like to turn to the other case, United States versus Aiello, the rigged poker game case. Beginning as early as 2019, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam. Once the game was underway, the defendants fleeced the victims out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. The defendants used a variety of very sophisticated cheating technologies, some of which were provided by other defendants in exchange for a share of the profits from the scheme. For example, they used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator.
These are some explosive allegations, y'all. You talking about fraud, money laundering. You talking about upwards of $7 million at some of these poker games. These people had lost money. So I just want to know how this investigation started. You know, did they have an informant in there? Did somebody lose some money and end up, blowing up the whole operation? You know, because there's many ways how this all could have played out. But I tell you one thing, the NFL, MLB, NHL, if you a player or coach involved in this type of activity that they're alleging that these guys is involved in, you better stop. Because it look like to me they is coming down on it. Because like I said, this is a money game. That's all it's about. It's about losing money. They don't really give a fuck about the average person losing money. They care about the bookies. You understand? This is about Las Vegas. This is about these gambling agencies losing money. They ain't really with that. I don't know how many of y'all gamble, but I got a family member that gambles like a motherfucker. And when they lose money, man, they kick you out the casino, man. Win too much money in the casino, I bet you get banned. Win too much money on FanDuel, DraftKings, I bet you get banned. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you did it the right way. But we're going to keep an eye out on this, man. Tony Rozier, it was videos of him. Looked like he was throwing games. And to me, that was way too obvious. You know, the turnovers that he was committing. Then he left the game early. It's like, come on, Tony. Like, if you're going to do it the right way, yo, that was way too obvious. And that's probably really what jump-started the whole investigation. If it wasn't for Gilbert Arenas. You know what I mean? Because these people that bet on these games, they pay very close attention to what's going on. You feel me? And this is big money, y'all. That's why I can't stress that enough. This is big money, big business. You understand? Whenever you're dealing with big money and big business, it's only a certain amount of people that's gonna get paid off of that, and everybody else gonna lose. And the minute you try to cut into their profits, they cut into you. And that's why we got these federal indictments. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens with Chauncey Billups. Like, from what I understand, Chauncey Billups is the coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. These things happened when he was just a retired player. He wasn't coaching at the time. But this is one of them situations where your past come back to haunt you. Now, Gilbert Arenas, if he told, he down bad for that. And I'm not trying to hear he's a civilian. And none of that. You know, if you participate in criminal activity, you are subject to the same rules of the underworld. And that's no telling, no talking, no cooperating. You know what I mean? When the ship sink, you go down with the ship or try your best to make it out. But you don't do it by cooperating with law enforcement. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. What y'all think going to come out of this? Is there going to be more arrests? I seen LeBron James' name even got implicated. They say Daniel Jones reaching out to LeBron James for insight on games. And yo, this is crazy. This is crazy, but I don't think it's done. I think this might get a whole lot bigger. Maybe more arrests, but we'll see. And I'm out.